What's going on, everybody? Welcome to GmiasWorld, and I've been getting some very interesting questions. One of them that was very interesting was, should you waste your training points on your free legend, Ronde Barber? Okay, so what happens is, with your solos every week, they're going to give you an option to get a free version of a legend player, okay? In this week, this is probably going to be the star guy that a lot of you guys may be going crazy for, because a lot of the prices of the corners are really like, the market has kind of crashed. Deion Sanders crashed the market. It altered what Jalen Ramsey's value was, Xavier Rhodes, everything like that. So Ronde Barber, playing the solo, which we're about to do right now, is going to give you his free legend card, which all of you guys should know right now. If you guys are new to it, you're new to MUT, check out my previous videos about the whole situation with getting the other free versions of the cards that you can power up using training points and get them as high as a 90 overall. Now, should you use your training points for this free card? If your team needs Ronde Barber, then I would say that based on some of the stats that he has, which I'm going to show you once we get his free card, because you're able to see where they go, all the upgrades. He's decent because he has good enough zone for you to get away with stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, I would play the Deion Sanders solo, which I've also showed you guys here on the channel, and get the free Deion Sanders and upgrade him to a 90, because you can also get the speed, the return man aspect of him as well, okay? In addition to his zone coverage, his man coverage, and everything like that, you can also get those things. So looking forward right now, Ronde Barber is not a guy that like myself in particular, like I'm not really going to say, oh yeah, he's a guy that's worth it to go after or whatever like that. I don't really care about all that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's not something that I'm going to really promote for any reason. I will tell you, though, that the corners do absolutely 100% play differently depending on, their amount of zone coverage, the threshold, a lot of different things that go into it. So I would be very careful with the choice. But if you don't have a corner like a Deion or a power-up anything, a lot of you guys are running around with a power-up Ramsey, and I was wondering, like, what are you guys doing, until I actually ran into a guy that had a power-up Ramsey, and he played pretty well. He played pretty well, so I can understand the power-up aspect of any card, but with the Legends is just a new thing, so people want to just try it out. That's pretty much what goes on with that. So if that's something that you want to do, maybe you like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, you're into Fitzmagic or something like that. I don't know. A lot of you guys are weird. You know what I'm saying? You're into Fitzmagic, now that they're getting blown out, you hate Fitzmagic. Whatever the situation is, you have to gauge it based on the way your team is built. Like, say, for instance, this is an interesting thing, right? Some of you guys are putting together teams that are going on based on the actual team that they're on. So you're putting together like 25 players for the +1 speed, stuff like that. If you already have a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, pretty much like you got Mike Evans, you got all these other guys on your squad, I don't think it really makes sense right now to go away from that. So Ronde Barber might be something that, you go after. You don't have to go, like, just because I chose Deion, that doesn't mean that Deion is the best corner. He just works for what I'm doing. Now, some of you guys have concerns about his press, his finesse, getting off of the run, all that stuff. I understand your concerns. I absolutely understand your concerns, but those concerns are not something that affects what I do. So I don't really pay attention to it as much. But if you guys are looking for specific type of chems, things like that, that really helps your squad, then that's something that you guys should consider. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't have anything to do with what I like or whatever. It's all about what you guys want to do. Okay, let me get that. Let me get that real quick. Let me get that fumble. All right, so that's GG's for you guys. That's GG's for you, CPU. That's GG's. All right, so again, this solo is going to be over. We're going to win it by 1. They have a timeout, though, so they might try to do something weird. But it doesn't really matter. It's all good. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the card. And then from that point, we can dissect it. Because we can go to the auction house and actually see don't score, man. Thank you. Just fall on the ground, bro. Like, Ricky Williams is such a goon in this game. He's always trying to score, dog. Like, he just needs to really sit down. He's like, I played a game recently where he just started breaking tackles and just going for 6. And I'm like, bro, we already winning by 20. Like, sit down. Like, he's definitely worth the ground. Did I say ground? Grind. Because EA Sports last year with LaDainian Tomlinson, they really made us never want to do a level master again. And they've really fixed this whole level master situation with Ricky Williams. He's just way too good, bro. And even with all the patches, it doesn't affect how well he plays. And that's what I really like about it. All right, so now this is what we're going to do. We're going to get our free, we'll get our free card right now, our free Ronde Barber. Okay, and from here, what we're going to do is we're going to click on it. We're going to go to upgrade, just like we do with any of the other power-ups, right? And then we're just going to scroll all the way to the bottom. All right, now look, where do you have to add his card at? You have to add the 92, so you can get him all the way up to a 90 with the ability chemistry slot using all these training points. And that's what I'm saying. Is it worth it? Now, let's see. You're going to get an 89 speed. Let's check out his zone coverage and everything. Okay, zone coverage is at 89. Now, you would more than likely have lockdown chem. I highly recommend lockdown chem, especially in the game where there's a lot of crosser guys. You play a lot of guys that just come out running crossers. And if you can't stop the crosser routes, one or two things are going to happen. You're going to break your console or you're going to delete Madden from your console. One of those two things are going to happen if you don't have the right type of coverage. Now, look at the difference when you add the actual card. You see what's going to go on 91 speed and his zone goes to 93. So that's going to give you 96. It could possibly go to a 97 with John Madden coach. Okay. Also, additionally, you can add things from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, like the team items, the coach, the stadium, the uniforms, to get that up also. All right. So there's a lot of different things. Also, he has the 85 press. The thing about it is, bruh, I can't get jiggy with a 91 speed. He will be a 92 with a sprinter, but I can't get jiggy with that. So he's not what I want. That doesn't mean that you powering him up to a 90 wouldn't be able to do the things that you want to get done. Because maybe you run a scheme where you're not really worried about, getting beat deep because you run a two-man under, you got a two-man under scheme. So you got your guys under, you got the safeties over the top. That's your scheme. I like to go one-on-one, so I want corners that are locked down. That's why I go with, Jalen Ramsey, Deion Sanders, stuff like that. I'm going to give you an example of what I'm doing now. So as far as that goes with Ronde Barber, is he a good card? Absolutely he is. He's definitely a good card, but he doesn't work for my scheme. Okay, now what is my scheme? My scheme is being able to play zones one-on-one. So I want a guy covering everything. If I decide to switch to man, I want that dude playing the man-to-man coverage like his life depends on it. So what does that mean for me? When you look at the stats and the actual attributes of my players, you can see 95 speed. So look, say I put Deion down, he's one-on-one, and I bring him down a little bit to kind of like show a different type of coverage. I can kind of hope and pray that 95 speed is going to bail me out. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can hope and pray like, yo, bro, that speed right there, it ain't no way I could get beat. Now, have I gotten beat with Deion one-on-one? Yes, I have. Because weirdos will get lucky and do whatever they want, and they'll be able to get by you. But that's not something that's regular that happens. But then you also check out his zone coverage, which is also the same when chemmed that Ronde Barber is. You see what I'm saying? The only big difference that it goes on is speed. And speed is key, as it's always been in every Madden game. Now, offensively, you're probably like, yo, you know what? I played a game the other day and my Randy Moss is getting locked down by a 70 overall corner. Yeah, that's also true. That's also what comes with the territory, bro. It's Madden. That's what's going to happen now. I don't know when they're going to fix it. It's been going on for 3 or 4 years since the Madden 16 patch. Dudes just do not run by anybody. Dudes are just right next to them. It's just really, really weird. I understand that. But with that being said, the only thing that differentiates Deion Sanders from Ronde Barber is the speed. So we would all love to have speed. Unless you're just a Ronde Barber fan or a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, Deion Sanders would be the more logical choice. Okay? Now, I'm going to click off and go to Ramsey and let you guys get an idea about that. Because you guys might be saying, all right, you got that, but what about Ramsey? What makes Ramsey so special? Now, you saw that his press was an 85. Okay? Look at Ramsey's press. It's a 95. Ronde Barber will go to a 92 speed because he's a 91 without sprinter chem, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Again, his zone coverage is a 96. Once John Madden coach, I upgrade him, he's going to be at a 97 zone coverage. Okay? Those things are I'm going to tell you this right now. The threshold of zone is so wild right now that it's 99 because once you get to 99, the way that they're going to play, it's sort of like when they patched the game in 18, when they did it for like a decent patch and the zone started working and they were breaking on the balls. That's what I've been able to see with these players. They actually recognize what's happening. And if you guys don't believe me, simply go to a low overall corner. Like, for instance, a Marshawn Lattimore, right? Like, I'm going to show you Marshawn Lattimore stats. And that's who I was running with for a while before I decided to start upgrading my team, right? So let's look at this, right? Look at this right here. He has an 88 zone coverage. When I try to utilize him in certain plays, he doesn't move or act the same way that Jalen Ramsey or Deion Sanders acts, as opposed to the way it used to be like, you know, in previous years Madden. The actual zone coverage being the meta of 99, the threshold, it definitely shows and proves. Now, I don't know if the 90 is something that's good, but if whenever I man up Marshawn Lattimore, he usually sticks onto the receiver. But the zone coverage is noticeably different. Just as a point up and, you know, and a heads up to you guys, it's noticeably different to the way that they actually cover zones, especially C routes or crossers and stuff like that. If you have somebody in a soft squat, because soft squat will generally automatically turn to man-to-man coverage, so they play it so much better when their zone coverage is higher. Because even though it goes to man-to-man, the zone is still what it is as a soft squat. All right, so that kind of goes in depth to make you understand if Ronde Barber works for you. If you can snipe him and put him together, I don't see why you wouldn't do it. But if you wanted to use your free card and spend training points, I think it'll be ideal right now to do that, to try to get those things done. Because ultimately, what's going to happen is you're going to either end up staying with the same bum corners you have now, if you're even considering Ronde Barber, or you're just not going to, you know, you're not going to probably do the solo, and you're just going to, you know, just be like, you know what, I don't really care about what's going on with zone. I'm going to play the way my team is now, and then not get any stops when you should be getting stops. Okay, so just remember that. If you chem him up to a 90 and you spend the training points and you put lockdown on him, you're going to get about a 93 zone, which is more than enough to actually give you a nice starter, especially with a lot of free training points that EA has been giving out lately. I think you can make your team a whole lot better if you do use that card and power him up. I want to thank you guys and girls for watching. You have a great day. One love.